Lynn truly is known in her office for being a workaholic. The boss loves her so much and told all employees to look up to her as a role. The lady wants to do her best in her career to have a great life ahead of her. However, instead of enjoying work, she hears her workmates gossiping about her. They hate Truly for working overtime because they are also expected to do so. True enough, Truly realizes that she's working too much and that she has the worst version of herself. She barely enjoyed her life and had no time for her boyfriend. Time passed and Truly couldn't take it anymore. She had a breakdown and reminisced about her life as a youth where all was well. Back in high school, Lynn truly is a typical student who has insecurities about her looks. She usually hangs out with Small and Mei, her best friends. Small is a romantic, chubby lady who is fangirling a superstar like her. Meanwhile, Mei is a cheerful and boyish woman who annoys everyone in the class. Their relationship flourished as they took on the crazy, exciting, memorable high school life. One time at the school's mini-mart, Lynn truly hears wild screams of ladies around her. Aoyang Extraordinary is in the vicinity. Her world stopped as she watched the handsome Aoyang approaching her. Aoyang is a famous basketball player and the campus crush every lady is dying to meet. He's a complete package from the looks, height, and talent. Name it, he has all of them. Truly had butterflies in her stomach for the first time. From then on, Aoyang became her secret crush at school. In the classroom, attractive ladies receive love letters from their secret admirers. Tao Minmin, the prettiest among all, had more than 10 letters on her desk. Truly envied Minmin for that. She had never experienced being admired by a guy. She just stared at Minmin, hoping that one day she'll also receive one. While looking for her notebook under the desk, Truly touches an envelope. It was a love letter addressed to her. She feels flattered knowing that someone in school finds her attractive. Truly couldn't wait anymore, so she opened it. However, she was dismayed after learning that it was a chain message. The letter contains instructions to send 5 copies of the message to anyone. She only has 3 days to do so. Otherwise, if not distributed, bad luck is bound to happen to her. The next day, Truly decides to send the copies to the 5 person she hates the most. While eating breakfast, she was annoyed with her brother, who was munching fried chicken in front of her. Her brother is more favorite in the family, and that made Truly irritated with him. The lady thought of giving the letter to him. However, she's afraid that if bad luck happens to him and the family, she will also be affected. Truly dismisses her plan and thoughts of someone. At school, Truly received punishment from her terror teacher, Wang Baden. Teacher Baden embarrassed her in front of the class countless times already. Because of this, he was the first to receive a chain message from Truly. In the court, Truly hides in a tree as she watches her crush, Aoyang, singing a song to a group of students. Shortly after, the man noticed her and smiled. Truly couldn't hide her emotion that her crush finally saw her. She waved, but the pretty girl Minmin passed by. There, she realizes that Aoyang was smiling at Minmin all along. She felt heartbroken that the two looked great together. With what she saw, Truly decides to send the letter to Minmin. They are neighbors, so she had a chance to drop it at their mailbox. The following day, Truly was assigned as a cleaner. She carried a box of recyclable materials outside to dispose of it. All of a sudden, she saw Aoyang. A group of men led by Taiyu is bullying him. Taiyu is a notorious student in school. Everyone is afraid of him. He was also appointed as school patrol because of that. Aoyang and Taiyu almost hit each other, but the school director stopped them. While Taiyu was walking home, he saw a love letter in his bag. It was so fragrant, so he was tempted to open it. It was a chain message. Truly placed it in his bag earlier at school. Right after opening the letter, he was hit by a van. On the school grounds, during the flag ceremony, the director announces that the school anniversary festival will be held soon. As part of the preparation, the school director instructed the school patrol to conduct a surprise inspection for everyone's safety. Taiyu grabbed this opportunity to find the student responsible for sending him a chain message. The school patrol is allowed to touch all of the students' things. There, Taiyu's friend saw 2 envelopes of chain messages under Truly's desk. Before the lady could go home, Taiyu and his gang cornered her. Taiyu was so mad that he threw a vase in front of her. The lady trembles as Taiyu confronts her. It was also surprising that the man knew that Truly had sent the letter to him because he bullied Aoyang once. He threatened the lady to beat up Aoyang if she will not follow all his commands. Truly became a slave of Taiyu. She was forced to buy him snacks, answer his pile of assignments, and even teach the lady to skip classes. They went to roller skate somewhere. While having fun, a group of men entered and searched for Taiyu. The gang started a rage. Taiyu only had 2 men with him fighting against their opponent. The gang had a chance to hit his head with a metal rod. The impact was too strong that Taiyu had a headache and hearing loss. Truly, who was hiding at the table, saw it. She pitied him, so she threw the metal rod into his hands. Taiyu grabbed the metal and used it to defeat the gang. The director was so mad at Truly and Taiyu. The director punished Truly to spend 10 hours cleaning the pool as a punishment. Outside, she saw Aoyang. The lady froze when Aoyang approached her. The man told her that he also loves roller skating. Truly jumped, flattered that her crush knew her name. Truly headed to the pool for her punishment. She sang and happily scooped the dirt on the water as she recalled how Aoyang noticed her. Suddenly, Minmin's voice echoed from the comfort room. She overheard her conversation with a man. He was Aoyang. He assures Minmin never to worry because he will take responsibility as the father. Truly's eyes went big hearing that. In her mind, Minmin is pregnant with Aoyang's child, and they have been secretly dating for a while. Truly felt heartbroken and jumped to the pool to hide. While closing her eyes underwater, someone grabbed Truly's hand. He was the bad boy, Taiyu. Taiyu was crying as he rescued her. He thought she had committed suicide after seeing her crush on another girl. The lady laughed and found him weird for crying. On the school's rooftop, the two had a conversation. Taiyu bought some beer and forced Truly to drink it. Taiyu and Truly had a great time talking. There, Taiyu admitted that he was madly in love with Minmin and was following the lady at the pool earlier. He also saw Truly there, who jumped after seeing Aoyang together with Minmin. Taiyu looked hurt, so Truly comforted him. She told the man that they were officially members of the Dumped Association. Hearing that, Taiyu thought of something. He and Truly will work as a team to break Aoyang and Minmin's relationship. Doing so, Taiyu can have Minmin, and Aoyang will be for Truly. The two executed their plan and looked for the couple. They finally saw them. Aoyang and Minmin walk different paths but secretly meet in a secluded campus room. Taiyu and Truly looked like hired spies as they followed them. They went nearer to the room. Aoyang and Minmin were doing something. Taiyu and Truly couldn't take it anymore, so they sneaked into the room and saw them feeding a puppy. Truly felt relieved. She thought that Aoyang had impregnated Minmin. Taiyu, on the other hand, is still worried. He speculates that Aoyang is courting Minmin, and he won't let that happen. On that same day, a gang cornered Minmin. The lady was afraid because no one was passing by the street except her. Suddenly, Taiyu appeared and expressed her love to the lady. The gang opened a romantic banner as background for Taiyu. Instead of responding, Minmin hit his knee with her bike and walked away. Taiyu was left embarrassed and threatened his men never to tell anyone that a lady had dumped him. After failing to court Minmin, Taiyu and Truly stole the puppy that bonds her and Aoyang together. Minmin cried as she discovered that the dog was missing. She reached out to her classmates to help her find it. A moment after, the terror Wang Baden entered the class. He was so mad and instructed Truly to go to his office. Mr. Wang had already opened the letter that Truly placed on his notes. He was so angry and asked her purpose for doing that. Apart from Truly, Minmin and Taiyu were also at the faculty office, and they heard everything. Taiyu pitied Truly. He went to Mr. Wang and told him he was responsible for the chain messages. While in a bookstore, Truly thanked Taiyu. The man told the lady that it was nothing because they were friends. Truly could not believe what she heard. She never thought that a naughty boy like him had a soft-hearted side. There, she admitted that she also gave Minmin a chain message. Truly apologized and promised the man that she would help him pursue Minmin. Truly and Taiyu have been together for a long time. The gangster enjoys being with her. He even promised to ask her idol, Andy Liu, to sing in front of her someday. Despite their well-established friendship, Truly feels that she barely knows Taiyu. She got curious and looked for his information in the yearbook. The lady was shocked when she discovered that Aoyang was also there. She decides to ask him about Taiyu. Aoyang told the lady that Taiyu had changed after he lost his friend, Su Yuan, from drowning. Yuan dared him for a swimming race at the beach. Unfortunately, Su Yuan drowned. Taiyu blamed himself and thought that Yuan would still be alive if he did not accept his challenge. The lady had a realization after. She believed that Taiyu was crying to rescue her from the pool because of the trauma from that beach incident. Later that afternoon, Truly dared Taiyu to roller skate with her. The man found her weird but agreed that the loser should follow the winner's request. Truly had a hard time skating. She got bruises after falling but still managed to step onto the finish line. Taiyu had no idea what was going on with her. The lady went near to him. She looked serious and confronted the man. She told him that she already knew why he became stone-hearted and a leader of gangs. Taiyu shouted at her, but the lady continued. She made the man realize that he should not blame himself for the incident and must move on. Taiyu went mad and firmly gripped her arms. He tried to look cool and brave in front of her, but deep inside, Taiyu was crying. He realized that he was not a naughty and notorious guy like before. He controls himself to not break down in front of Truly, so he walks away. Before he could walk far, the lady fell again and got bruises. His heart melted and helped her balance. At that moment, he pitied Truly for all her efforts. Before parting ways, the lady requested something as the race winner. All she wants is for Taiyu to change his life. The following day, the history teacher enters Taiyu's chaotic classroom. It has become a habit that their class doesn't listen to the teacher nor greet him as he enters. But it was all different that day. Taiyu stood up and led everyone to greet their teacher. His classmates were shocked by his unusual gesture. What was even more surprising was when the man asked the teacher what page are they for today's lesson. The teacher had goosebumps. He never expected that the last ranked student of the batch and the most stubborn guy on the campus instantly became respectful. One time, Truly had a study date with Taiyu. There, she noticed something different. Taiyu offered to carry her bag and even protected her from cars passing by. The lady couldn't stop smiling. She highly appreciated Taiyu's gentle gestures. While they were studying, Minmin saw them. She saw Taiyu from afar studying hard and the lady fell in love with him that instant. She even gave her personal info to the man as an indication of her interest. Truly saw them, and she felt jealous. She also knew that Taiyu was studying hard for the incoming mock exam. He wants to be part of the top 10 to be noticed by his crush, Minmin. It may sound rushed, but Truly was subconsciously falling in love with Taiyu. They became study buddies, and he also accompanied her home. However, the man told her he did it to bump into Minmin, who just lived nearby. Before parting ways, Truly requested him if he could teach her to roller skate because Aoyang also loves to skate. She thought it was the only possible way to get closer to Aoyang. Truly starts to be conscious of her looks. She wants to look attractive like her brother's girlfriend. Fortunately, the lady wants to help her with that. Meanwhile, at school, Aoyang was injured after playing basketball. Minmin sits beside him, looking concerned. Shortly after, Truly walks into the cafeteria, where the injured man is seated. Aoyang saw her. She looks glowing and pretty with her new hairdo. Her smile was also attractive, and Aoyang's eyes were only fixed on her. In the cafeteria, Taiyu was eating ramen. He almost choked the noodles as he saw Truly. She looked confident and attractive. The lady bought ice cream. She looked concerned at Aoyang but was hesitant to approach him. Taiyu pushed Truly to Aoyang. There, the injured man expressed his thoughts with Truly's looks. He finds her cute. The lady couldn't hold her smile as she felt flattered by his words. She offered her ice cream as a cold compress for Aoyang's injury. Minmin looked jealous that Aoyang noticed Truly. Meanwhile, Meimei and Small were surprised to see their friend transformed. Mock exam results came, and Taiyu was ranked as the 10th placer. While everyone on the campus was shocked, the new school director arrived. He looks more terror than the previous directors. He also warned Taiyu that he would kick him out of the school if he committed 3 One day, the director visits class 317, Taiyu's classroom. He told everyone to clap for the top placer in their class. Taiyu confidently stood up to receive the recognition. In the middle of the applause, the director went near to him. He accuses him of cheating. The director also encourages the class to testify about how he cheated. However, no one stood up. Because of that, he went mad and told everyone to run to the track as punishment. Taiyu shouted at the director and said his anger towards him had nothing to do with his classmates. After talking back, he was instructed to run 50 laps on the track on behalf of his classmates. In anger, Taiyu kicked his desk and ran outside for the punishment. The students gathered at the school grounds as they watched Taiyu being punished. Gossips are everywhere, saying that the director is a terror. He also scolded earlier the ladies who wore skirts with a length above the knee. Truly heard the commotion, so she ran to the track to see Taiyu. He looked tired and weak after running 35 laps. He was already fainting but still had 15 laps to go. The lady went to the director and told him that Taiyu did not cheat. However, the director was close-minded and didn't listen to her. Shortly after, Taiyu collapsed. The next day, Truly decided to organize a rally for the school's anniversary festival. Her goal is to inform the director that there is a group of students against his cruel treatment. She, together with her friends, created posters, banners, and flyers to distribute for the revolt. She also encouraged more students to join them. Unfortunately, someone told the faculty about Truly's plan. The teacher was so angry at her and told the lady that she was a disgrace to her family. She will also receive loss of points together with other students who helped her. At home, Truly's parents were upset with her. They pointed out that Taiyu was a bad influence. The lady will be grounded for 2 days and prohibited from using the telephone. Night came, and she heard a paper hitting her window. Taiyu was outside. Truly sneaks out of the house and brings Endi, the puppy they stole from Minmin and Aoyang. The lady was so happy about Taiyu's visit. She was about to get inside the house when the man invited her to go somewhere. The two headed to an outdoor skating park. The colorful lights around the area were so beautiful. Taiyu held Truly's hands and taught her skating. The most awaited school anniversary festival came. The top 10 students in the mock exam will be recognized. The director was the one who announced their names. On top rank is Aoyang, while Minmin is the 6th placer. The whole class of 317 was all awaiting Taiyu to be mentioned. However, they got dismayed that the director stopped at the 9th rank. He also announced upstage that he omitted Taiyu because he cheated. He humiliated him in front of everyone even if he had no evidence of cheating. Truly couldn't stand the terror director anymore. She stood up and went nearer to him. The crowd was shocked that someone dared to interrupt him while talking. There, the lady shortened the length of her skirt and told the man that she must be punished immediately. The director told the lady that her violation was not that important and he would attend to it later. Because of that, Truly said to him that there's no sense in implementing rules if it was not important in the first place. For the second time, the lady bowed and insisted on being punished. Silence filled the hall, and the students feared the superior would burst with anger because of Truly. Suddenly, Aoyang stood beside the lady and requested punishment for cheating. The man also added that being a top placer doesn't mean that he can't commit cheating. He also added that nobody is perfect and everyone is bound to commit a mistake. The students were thrilled at his words. One by one, they stood up and confessed their violations to the director. Even Minmin, the 6th placer, admitted that she brought a pager to the school. But no one called her out because she's an honor student. The director was left in silence, hearing everyone's complaints against him. The following day, Truly, Taiyu, Minmin, and Aoyang went camping with friends. This time Truly finally had Aoyang and Taiyu have Minmin, like how they planned it. However, as Truly sees Minmin hugging her friend, she feels jealous. During the Truth or Dare game, Minmin was caught off guard when Taiyu asked her if she tried sending chain letters. There, Truly found out that she was responsible for the chain message she received. But thanks to that letter, because she was able to get to know naughty Taiyu, she also considered their unexpected friendship as luck. One day, Taiyu got involved in a fight. Truly was so mad that she swore never to talk to him again. The night before her birthday, the lady saw a standee of her idol, Andy Liu. She was so happy that she finally had one. Suddenly, Taiyu's friend came out and gave a lady a tape recorder. Truly was touched. She thought that he had already forgotten her special day. Truly was glowing as she attended classes the next day. She also thanked Taiyu on the rooftop. However, Minmin came and held his arms. There, Taiyu confesses that he is already dating Minmin. He also wishes her luck with Aoyang. Truly shed tears. She felt heartbroken hearing those words. She realizes she will never win Taiyu's heart against the prettiest lady in school. The next day, Minmin was crying on her desk. Truly overheard that Taiyu went abroad and left her. Gossip circulated on the campus that he left because Director Chuan kicked him out. Truly ran around to search for him, hopeful that he was still at school. However, he is nowhere to be found. Days passed and Truly tried to move on. Aoyang was there comforting her. The lady then thought she would be delighted if her crush noticed her. Now that he's beside her all the time, she still feels that something is missing in her life. She missed Taiyu so much, the man she considers her first love. Aoyang noticed that something was bothering the lady. Her eyes look sad. Because of that, he decides to confess something. The last time at camp, he and Taiyu had the chance to talk. There, Taiyu admitted that he's falling in love with Truly. However, he knows that she's madly in love with someone else. He also told him that he was about to leave abroad for surgery. He had a blood clot after injuring his head countless times. This includes the time he was reading the chain message on the street, his encounters with gangs, and the time he went out late at night for the standee of Andy Liu. He got involved in a major rage, and he was confined after that. Aoyang also told the lady to play the tape recorder. Truly cries as she hears Taiyu's voice. He was confessing his feelings to her. He loved her all along after they joined forces to break Minmin and Aoyang's rumored relationship. Years went by, and Truly can still remember her first love, whom she never met again. After reminiscing her high school days, she realizes that she doesn't deserve a miserable life and she's not required to obey the people she dislikes. The next day, she personally filed a resignation to her boss. She also broke up with her boyfriend, who never loved her. Truly also decided to attend Andy Liu's concert to unwind. The next day, someone approached Truly. It was Andy Liu. He returned the keychain that fell from her bag. She truly got wild and took pictures with her idol. She also told him that she wanted to attend his concert, but she didn't have a ticket. The superstar smiled and left her the number of his assistant. Concert day, and Truly headed to the venue. She called the number that Andy gave. Little did she know, her idol's assistant was Taiyu, and he was looking at her from afar. The man approached the lady and introduced himself. Truly shed tears because she recognizes him. The LED screen nearby showed Andy. He told everyone that he dedicated his concert Truly Love You to someone's first love. Taiyu looked at Truly and said to her that Andy was referring to them. The lady couldn't hold her emotion as she recalled that Taiyu once promised to let Andy sing in front of her someday, and he returned back to fulfill his promise.